Hello everybody, today's September 18th, 2013. Thanks for joining me today on the Moneybag 73 channel. Well, Ben Bernanke is going to go out with a bang, keeping his foot down on the pedal to the metal. $85 billion a month going to be continued to be printed. Tapering did not happen as expected by 85% of economists. And I was doing some thinking today about worst case scenario, Mad Max type situation where the whole debt-based Ponzi scheme monetary system that we have, this paper nothing system that's based on nothing, when the whole thing comes down, what are you going to want to have? I mean, a lot of us are holding real money for thousands of years, which I think you're going to want to have. But the people who ignore that, they think that individuals who are accumulating real money that's maintained its value throughout thousands of years, it's just so obvious that you're going to want to have some of that. After, everything collapses, and what's going to be there in the ashes to rebuild? And what are you going to want to have? Gold and silver are going to be there shining in the morning sunrise after the whole thing comes down. They'll be glittering, and they'll be there like they've always been. Your paper nothings will be gone. Your electronic digits that aren't worth the paper that they're not printed on will be gone, like Gerald Celente likes to say. I mean, you're going to want to have gold and silver, but what some people fail to understand is that people who have real money, most of them are aware that they're going to need to have a way of protecting that real money. So it's not just about accumulating gold and silver for this apocalyptic scenario that unfortunately seems so real. But you're going to want to have food and water and guns and ammo stored on top of that. Medical supplies. I mean, there's a lot that goes into all this. So anyhow, interest rates dropped, gold and silver spiked, gold went up $50 straight up within 5 minutes of the announcement. What else did I see? The bonds rose because of the interest rates falling. We had oil spiked a little bit. The stock market spiked, of course, because you're going to continue to have the same amount of money that's going to have to go somewhere. And even though the banks are holding $1.8 trillion, I think it is, with the Fed being paid interest on it, the private bank, private corporation, the Fed, is paying commercial banks to hold money with them. They never did that prior to 2009. They're doing it now because they know that prices would go through the roof, and that's not part of their plan. But speaking of plans, Lindsey Williams has his new DVD out, and I've gone through it. I'm going to be putting together a video on that. Some really interesting stuff come out of there. I'll be putting a link to it, and I'll be doing that probably shortly after this video. So those are some of my most popular videos. I know a lot of people, I get my most negative comments whenever I do a video on Lindsey Williams, but he talked about the bloodbath we had in June in an interesting way, and I think you're going to want to hear about that. So anyhow, that's it today, everybody. There's no tapering. I don't see how they're going to be able to taper. Basically, from what I got out of, I don't want to give too much away, but listening to Lindsey, I mean, interest rates can't go up. Rising interest rates would just bring down the whole thing, and maybe used to bring it down at the right time. So That's it, everybody. I'll talk to y'all soon. I just wanted to mention, you gotta love that, everybody. I mean, I hate to keep advertising for Volkswagen on my videos because they're not compensating me, but I gotta thank the subscribers that told me I had to buy a TDI Volkswagen. I mean, look, I haven't even used a quarter tank of gas. I've already gone 140 miles. And on this trip home from work, I'm about 3/4 of the way home. I've probably gone, I don't know, almost 40 miles. 57.7 miles per gallon it says I've averaged so far.